Aaron Moses gang. Let me do this. Forever forgetting to put on my do not disturb. So, before I get into the actual video, I do want to say that me potting is the primary reason that I have this channel to help people. If you've been following me for a minute, I was teaching people how to do things that were contrary to the law in order to help them get money and in order to keep them out of confinement and to keep them out of the graveyard, out of that cemetery. Okay? From there, when YouTube basically told me I couldn't do that and they weren't gonna support my content, then I started talking about spirituality, but I didn't have enough game to smoothly transition and make it make sense for people to follow the how to do this guy to how to raise the vibrations of your mind, body, soul, spirit, and lifestyle. That just didn't make sense for me to jump from one thing to the other. Then I started talking about regular stuff, pretty much lifestyle vlogging, which that wasn't necessarily something I wanted to do, but I ran out of ideas. People were messing with it. Of course, then I put out my music. So, with that being said, the whole purpose of me doing this is to help people. Yes, I do reactions, and I figured out a way to make my reactions a lot better. Stay tuned. But I don't want to just entertain because I'm not a clown. I'm not the most entertaining person to meet. Sometimes, yeah, but more than not, I just really want to be regular, educate, and I just want to be me authentically because, of course, I was watching some Jordan Peterson, and he was saying that to understand who you are, you just have to view your energy levels as getting weaker or stronger. If you do something doesn't make you weaker, then that's not the authentic you. That's not something you should be doing. If you do something and it makes you feel empowered or you are empowered, then that's the authentic you. Okay. So let's get into it. Femcels versus incels. So if you don't know what an incel is, involuntary celibacy, it's a person who cannot get fornication when they want. Okay, they're incapable of going into the world and getting some. That's exactly what that means. I was watching the whatever podcast. It was the 5.5. I don't know how long ago. It was like 6 hours. It was long. It was the one where the girl, she was like 400 pounds. No exaggeration. She was a good 3 point God. That's how much she weighed. You know what I'm saying? So she said she was an 8. And because of the heated debate, I never really watched it. Besides me watching Freezes It, do a reaction or a response to the one where the Saint and the Silly was on there with Adam 22. I never really had any desire to go back and visit any of their podcasts. But this one definitely intrigued me. So the girl, the Middle Eastern girl, the one that looked like Mia Khalifa with the glasses, she was saying that femcells, incel is a female that's an incel. She was saying that femcells cannot find men to fornicate with them that they are attracted to emotionally because women, which is what she's saying, women want more than just the physical. They want to actually like you, they want to be attracted to you, they want all of that, which of course everybody knows that has the internet. Everybody knows that's not true. Okay. Now, her response to the men in the podcast saying that um, men that incels exist. She said incels don't exist as men because they could just go pay for it. They could just go purchase it. The men responded with something along the lines of, "That's the whole point of being an incel. They don't want to pay for it. They want it to be authentic. They want to be able to fornicate without having to spend any money because that's not necessarily a real interaction. That's consult, but that's not. That's not what that is. Wait, hold on. Let me recollect my thoughts. My bad. Let me drink some water real quick. Excuse me. Consent. That's what I meant to say. Excuse me 1 second. Nigga cat said consult. Did you read today? No, I did not. Actually, I did. Anyway, men having this whole thing saying, I don't want to pay for it. I'm an incel. I don't have social skills. I'm lacking this. I'm lacking that. I'm ugly. Whatever. You know what I mean? Of course, that's not a good excuse for you to not be able to fornicate with the woman. But I totally, 110% understand. As somebody who was a late bloomer, who made the conscious decision to be a late bloomer, which I'm going to talk about at some point, uh, I definitely understand because I've seen these people. I turned down a lot of women because that just wasn't my life. I saw from my personal experience that when young men go ahead and get that first piece, they start doing dumb stuff. Okay, which is why if you watch my video, 10 things that I'm going to teach my son about women, one of the things I'm going to teach him is to not lose his virginity with the girl he likes because then he's going to be weak and he's going to be making weird decisions. I've seen young men in my high school as soon as they start getting active, cutting dreads that they've been growing ever since they were children for 7 years. 7 year old dreads as a freshman or a sophomore, you cut for this girl and she broke up with you that same year, all because of this beautiful little treasure box. I've seen men or young men quit certain teams, quit rapping, stop smoking, start working, stop hanging out with. Okay, working, yeah, but if that's not what you want to do, like you want to get a job so you could pay for whatever this young woman wants, that's lame. So you need to keep it in your pants and focus on whatever goals you have. On the flip side, though, what up, Melvin? On the flip side, though, as a female, as a femcel, what is it about you that no dude wants to enter you? What do you have about you? As a femcel, why do you feel like everything has to be a certain way? I get it. I get it, but I don't get it. I understand as much as I can. But if this is your complaint that nobody wants to hire you, but McDonald's is hiring, so you just choose to stay broke. I had a cousin like that. He didn't want to work at McDonald's, but he had 2 children because he said McDonald's was beneath him. You got responsibilities. It's the same thing. You can't be running around crazy, scratching holes in your face, banging your head against the wall, crying, journaling, dressing all weird and acting all melancholy all day because you have all this pent up energy just because you need some penetration when there's dudes that they might not be as desirable. They might not be somebody that you like. But to say that you just can't, that you're just incapable, is not a real thing. Because, especially in my community, unfortunately, I don't know exactly where this comes from, but if you're around enough people who share the same skin color as me, you should not have that complaint. I will say yes because in the black community, we do have a lot of self esteem issues. We don't usually come from nuclear families, and we do have a lot of emotional problems. So, with that being said, all you gotta do is take a flight to Atlanta, to Philadelphia, to South Central, to South Side Chicago, East Side Chicago, West Side Chicago, where Houston, like, for you to just say you can't get what you need as a woman in any capacity, whether that be spiritually, whether that be financially, it just baffles me. Maybe because I don't know. But anyway, let's just move on from that because I'm not really trying to shame anybody. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it feels like to be longing for an emotional connection, and I want this physical act, I want this fornication, but I just can't get a person to understand me. I don't think like that. I've only interacted with one woman that I actually cared for and liked, and that is my current girlfriend. My equipment was not going to stop working because you just talk too much, or you just I've been in some I've been in some strange situations. I'll just say that. Is it because I'm black? Yes. But I will say this though. You cannot put yourself in that box. You can't keep speaking this into your existence and labeling yourself as a femcel. Like, why do you want to be equal to a man so bad that you got to take everything negative we do and just leave out everything positive we do? A lot of the strengths, a lot of the power, a lot of the discipline. Like, that's like if that's like if I had a girlfriend, right? Which I do, but not her. If I had a girlfriend, like this is what I'm going to describe. If I had a girlfriend and I'm working out every day and I read every day and I meditate every day and I eat clean, if I'm supposed to be the leader, she should be inclined to do the things that are positive for me. But then she sees me digging in my nose one time or a couple times a week. And I'm like, hey, bro, why do you dig in your nose so much? And she says, well, you do it. Yeah, I don't dig in my nose all day, every day until it bleeds and it gets infected and I gotta go to the doctor and take penicillin. Like, what is wrong with you? I do all these positive things. Why don't you copy the positive things that I do? Why don't you get influence from the positive things? I just don't get that. I don't get why you say, well, men do it, and you copy the negative things too. Like the whole mating and dating and spreading your body like a man. It's called spreading the seed for a reason. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what makes you feel cool, that's what makes you feel powerful. I understand that power feels good and all of that, but that is a perceived power that is temporary. When a man makes how he does and spreads himself like that, yes, it's temporary, the feeling, but there are certain traits that are gained with that that are conducive for a man to succeed in life and um, to compete. I don't know what y'all get from it to be able to say you did it, and but usually when a lot of things happen in a short amount of time, often that could be sensed, and that's not attractive. Okay. Next, we got to go to this whole man versus bear thing. Again, from the same podcast, from the whatever podcast. I'm not really trying to go live that long because I got stuff to do. But the man versus bear thing, of course, we see a lot of red pill content out here, and we see what it's doing. We see how it's being perceived in the minds of men and women. And again, we have something that's a concept that's going viral, that is creating a divide, that is perpetuating the gender wars, which is not cool. What I don't understand is why people keep falling for these things. Of course, I watched the responses, and I would have to say, I'm going to say this. The responses were idiotic, 110%. For a human being, no matter what they've gone through, to say, no matter what they've gone through, to say they would feel safer around a bear in a forest, in the woods, all alone, they would feel safer with a wild animal than a man, than a human that they can communicate with, a human that they could possibly physically dominate with the right amount of knowledge, training, the right weaponry. the right speed. They didn't even say, is this a fat man? Is this a skinny man? Is this a young man? Is this an old man? They just said a man. And of course, when you say a man, you probably would think a 6 foot, 210 pound, working out every day, possibly did jail or penitentiary time. That's the first thing. To be a man in a woman's mind in the middle of the forest, bro, is like dangerous. Now, of course, because this content is put out, there are men out there that already don't like women. There are women out there that already don't like women, which is why we don't have a woman president. Okay? When you put this content out there, and these guys, some of them incels, some of them not, some of them just went through a breakup, some of them are having problems with their baby mama, that's just gonna make men hate women more. When you showcase these low class, idiotic, non-educated women, that's just gonna make all women look worse. That's just gonna make people in their mind think that the foolishness they hear from red pill content is correct. When people say women are loyal to their emotions and not people and not men, women are naturally narcissists, women only want you for your money and all of that. When people listen to certain messages and then they click on footage of women saying that they prefer to be left alone in the middle of the woods with a bear over a man, you have to understand that this is trickery. You have to understand that these seeds are being planted to socially engineer you to dislike women. 110%. Do not fall for it. This is because we are being distracted by the fact that the gender wars are what they were slowly evaporating. Okay, there was nothing really popping to talk about. Of course, with the passing of Kevin Samuels, everybody was okay. That busted it back open because you have you have monsters celebrating the life of a man being ended because he made them feel bad temporarily. Now this man's life is gone permanently. Now his family is going to be in pain permanently. His mother has to see this. His child has to see this. His cousins have to see this. His uncles have to see this. His brothers and sisters have to see you celebrating this man that you're not even going to remember in 10 years, that could have lived for another 50 years. Are you crazy? That, of course, is going to make the people who were already more on the misogynist, chauvinistic, sexist side, that's going to make them lean more towards hatred and disdain and disgust, of course, which they shouldn't, because not all women were happy that Kevin Samuels is no longer with us, but it was a lot. Do I have the numbers? That's impossible for me to have those numbers. But the fact that you did it and you want to dance on this man's grave and you still want men to think you're desirable and fit to be in a relationship after you just celebrated somebody passing away that you don't even know personally just because he put out a clip that you don't like or he keeps on going live and saying the same things that you don't like. I could see if he was creative and had all these different messages. He only had one message. He really only had one message. And if you disliked it, all you had to do was just not like it and be quiet. But for you to put your energy into that and expect your life to be a better life is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that was around. But what I do want to say is have your own mind. Have your own mind and don't let these people trigger you. Don't let these people inside the most important part of your life, which is your mind. Don't let this man versus bear thing engineer you and take a hold of you because it's not real. Because the things that these stupid ass people say, the things that these stupid ass people say about them preferring to be left alone with a bear and a man, it's not real. It's an illusion. Do you think that if a woman came across a 500-pound bear that was 6'7" or 8, I don't even know how big bear, they're big. They're bigger than the average man. An 8-foot bear that is 500 plus pounds, that can run 40 pounds, do you think they would feel safer with that in front of their face 50 yards away, or a man with some headphones on and a stick smoking a cigar? Okay, well then shut up. That's foolishness. This is this is nonsensical manipulation. It's working because you're letting it work. Don't let these dudes, these people trick you into hating yourself. Because if you hate women, that means you hate yourself. And if you let somebody say that they will prefer to be at the mercy of a bear, then you really need to reevaluate your life. Because that's dumb. That's dumb for you to think that they really sat down and thought about this and they would really feel more comfortable. We even have a female on there who said, well, I saw 3 bears in the forest and I just went swimming and fell asleep and they were gone. You believe that that's true? You think that that's true? I, y'all have to you have to really meditate. That's what you really should do. And I don't do it. And I have to start. You have to really meditate and connect with your spirit before you allow yourself to go on the internet and take in this foolishness. Because I actually realized, of course, I watch too much red pill content. Most of the red pill content that I watch, if they have women on there, they're not very smart. They're not very intelligent, and they don't think before they speak. And when you go into the world and you constantly watch that, you're going to expect women to act like that all the time. And you're going to get what you expect. It's called confirmation bias. Okay? You're going to go in the world and you're going to listen about women. I mean, you're going to listen to women speak and you're going to hear them say something stupid that a man could be talking about easily. And you're going to think, this part of the species is stupid. They're inferior. And this is why I need to do this, and this is why I need to do this, and this is why I need to watch more of this, because I went into the world and I actually found this dumb shit that I was looking for, that I shouldn't have ever been exposed to in the first place. I'll just make this recommendation. If you watch Red Pill content, if you watch the Whatever podcast, or you watch Fresh and Fit, if you watch Fresh and Fit, you probably shouldn't be watching me. But if you watch any of these podcasts with these bubble brain ass people, these women on here, they pick stupid women on purpose, number one, because it's entertaining. If you watch any of these debates or these discussions, you need to go on YouTube and you need to balance that out with women saying something intelligent, speaking about things that you don't know about, enlightening you, whether that be credit, history, psychology, behavior, which is psychology, and balance it out. Because if you keep on watching red pill content and you keep on watching stuff that is showing women in a negative light, all the twerking, not twerking, well, yeah, all the twerking, And all the videos of women saying they broke up with their husband because he got cancer, and they took half his money, and the family's trying to sue her because they didn't even have enough money to bury him and have a decent funeral because he spent the rest of his money on medicine and chemotherapy. Of course you're gonna hate women, nigga. So when you watch all of that, let's just say for an hour, a lot of you niggas watch it for 3 hours a day, half your shift, probably more. You need to balance that out with watching content with women speaking intelligently and fluently and about something, like I said, that you had no idea about. And I'm going to try to take my own advice because I can't say that all red pill content is bad. It's really in the delivery. It's really if you don't attach yourself to it emotionally, if you don't make this your truth, if you look at things from as an observer and you actually do the research, then you're not going to be programmed, bro. Just like everything else, just like the news. But if you constantly hear people telling their horror stories about the worst part of the species, then yet you're going to take that into you. As Dolo the Flightball said, your mind will become your blood, bro. So if you keep filling yourself with hatred and stupidity, guess what? That's going to become a cancer. And your life and your behavior is going to manifest cancer physically. And that's how you're going to interact with the world, like a cancer. All right, it is what it is. It's not what it's not. It's Aaron Moses. I'm the bang, you the bang. We the bang together, man. Life's in the breath. Breathe it in. Peace. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Hi, games. Games. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Peace. Three of hoes will be tripping.